Mark Rogers TV, always talking college football 24/7, 365. We are at the most interesting portion of the college football season as we head down the home stretch, final 3 weeks of the season in the regular season. And, of course, we're headed toward that college football playoff. And as I have outlined in a number of segments recently, considering the situation in the Big Ten in particular, but it's been concerning other conferences in previous years, I hate that the college football conference championships, the conference championships have been devalued by this playoff system. So if the Pac-12 winner does not go to the college football playoff or whatever conference it is, that championship is going to be tarnished and people are going to be like, USC and Washington are playing this week and who really cares? It's for the Pac-12 championship, but they don't have any chance of getting to the playoff if these other things happen. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. It needs to be at least 8 teams, and I've outlined that before. In this offseason, I'll go through it again with formula scheduling and with enough playoff spots to accommodate all the conferences. At least get one representative of each conference. And then the only consideration after that is how deep you go into each conference. Do you select a second team as a wild card because this conference is very strong, or the second team, a la Georgia this year, is extremely good? All right, so the College Football Playoff Selection Committee released its second set of rankings tonight. I compared them to what I released a couple days ago on Sunday with my top 25 rankings, so I'm basically trying to do the same thing, let you know how I rank the teams, not based on my personal preference or who I think is the best, but based on their resume to date, the same process the College Football Playoff Committee is supposed to be going through. So check out my video prior to this one and my rankings, but I've got them right here. So the top 3 spots are exactly the same: Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame. I've got Miami at number 4, the committee at number 7. Both have Oklahoma at 5. I've got Clemson at 6. The committee is Clemson at 4. Wisconsin, we're only off by 1. TCU off by 2. I've got the Horned Frogs at 8. The committee at number 6. Auburn, I have at number 9. The committee at 10. And then the big discrepancy is Washington. The committee has Washington inexplicably at number 9 in the country. I think their case is much different than Wisconsin's currently because Wisconsin has not lost a game. Nobody has proven, regardless of how weak the schedule is, nobody has proven that they can defeat Wisconsin. There is a team out there that has proven that they can beat Washington. Are they better? Not necessarily, but they proved that they can stand on the same field and win a football game against Washington. And you know who that team is? Is it Clemson or Oklahoma or Penn State or somebody really good? No, it's Arizona State. Arizona State has shown us, they have proven that at least on a given night, and most likely more than just a given night, they can beat Washington. Does that sound like a college football playoff contender? Now, if Washington had other victories over a really strong Pac-12, or a non-conference win over one of the top 2 or 3 seeds in another conference, then we could disregard, to a certain extent, not completely, but disregard the Arizona State loss, much like we do Clemson, because Clemson has defeated Auburn, NC State in particular, Louisville, and some other teams. We have seen Clemson play elite-level football. We've not seen that out of Washington. Therefore, yes, Clemson gets tagged for the Syracuse loss, but they've also countered that with quality wins. Washington has no quality wins, plus they've lost to a marginal team. So I have Washington at number 15 with the opportunity to not play elite teams, but to play very good teams down the stretch in Stanford, Washington State, and the Big 12 championship, or the Pac-12 championship game against USC. So Washington, I am not damning them to the abyss to never be heard from again. They have the opportunity against 3 quality teams to show us that they're worthy, first, of winning the Pac-12 championship and then being considered, depending on what happens elsewhere, as a 12-1 football team for the college football playoff. But right now, at 8-1, and it was listed tonight, their best win, and I mentioned this the other night in my top 25 rankings. I was searching for Washington's best win and throwing it out there as Rutgers, UCLA. UCLA was my choice. The show tonight on ESPN listed Oregon. Yes, the mighty Oregon Ducks. Look at what they've done this year. That's an awful football team. And Oregon was listed by ESPN as Washington's best win. And they're number 9, according to the College Football Playoff Committee. They have a better resume than Penn State, Michigan State, Auburn. Wow. Okay. So running down the rest of it, really nobody is in play here. Maybe if there's a miracle, USC, but really nobody else is in play, so it doesn't matter. I went through the 2 lists, mine versus the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. There are 11 spots out of the top 25 that we are exactly the same or within 1 spot, and there's 15 that we're at least within 2 spots. So not a big discrepancy here. There's only 3 teams that I have ranked that they don't have ranked. And considering the 3 that I don't have ranked, that the College Football Playoff Committee has ranked are their bottom 3, I feel pretty good about that. Not that I'm judging myself against the College Football Playoff Committee, but I think they've done a pretty credible job the first 3 seasons in doing this. They've got NC State, LSU, and Northwestern in 23, 24, and 25 positions. Northwestern's an interesting case here. Again, not that they factor into this. They're number 25 in the country. But it's 6-3. Now with the win a couple weeks ago against Michigan State looking much better. And they won earlier in the season against Iowa in overtime. Actually, both of those games were in overtime for Northwestern. They could be close to being 4-5. But they, in fact, are 6-3 with wins over Iowa and Michigan State. And those 2 teams' stock has skyrocketed. Therefore, Northwestern's stock has skyrocketed. And their losses aren't bad. After the Duke loss early, they lost to Penn State and Wisconsin. The 3 teams that I have in play in my top 25 in place of NC State, LSU, and Northwestern are Michigan, West Virginia, and South Florida. All right, if this is the first time you joined me here on Mark Rogers TV, we talk college football all the time, and we talk to the smart fans out there, the hardcore fans that go beneath the surface, and we dig it up, and we discuss and debate college football at its very finest, and we bring in the best bloggers and broadcasters in the industry, and we'll do more of that this week as we prep for another big weekend of games. My thoughts on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's rankings, pretty good. I have no serious issues, except Washington at number 9. I've got the Huskies at 15, having defeated no one. Get that again. Oregon, best win. I say it's UCLA. Oregon, UCLA, whoever, it's awful. All right, those are my thoughts on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, week number 2, right here on Mark Rogers TV.